Okay, so we are talking about Solaris Part 2. In Solaris Part 2, we will concentrate more on how to manage a computer or manage servers in networked environment. Okay, so in Part 1, we were talking about mainly a server as a single unit, but no point in having servers as a single unit. So we have to network them to use them in the network. So when we are networking, first thing we have to do is we have to configure the networking. To configure the networking, you have to make sure during the installation you have selected networked yes. Okay, and your network card is already recognized, and then you give an IP address to the network card. Okay, IP address to the network card. Now we assume when you are installing, you didn't say networked yes. You said networked no. So how are you going to handle that situation? You said network no now. So now you are trying to make it networkable. You install a system, and when you install the system, you didn't have a network card there, and you didn't plan to network it. So you said network no, right? So now you are planning to network it. So what we do those days is we type a command as super user called sys unconfig. Sys unconfig. That means unconfigure everything. Unconfigure all what you have configured. Sys unconfig. But it will wipe out all your install ID phase. Whatever you put it in your install identification, it will wipe out everything. Host name gone, time zone gone, IP address gone, everything gone. So you have to spend about 10-15 minutes to do it. So if we type that, system will give you a warning, and after that it will wipe out all your etc, most of your etc config files. It may back up some of them, right? But all the information in the etc host, etc netmask, all the files, information inside that is gone. Okay, even time zone, boot params, all those things, right? Your IP address is deleted. If you don't have IP address in this example, right? Yeah. Okay. So when it types is config, you can say, when it ask you a question, is it network? You say yes. Network is already recognized. So after that, you added the network already recognized, then you can give an IP address, right? If a network card is not recognized, then you have to find out why it is not recognized, right? Maybe sometimes you have to plumb it, right? How to see all the network cards? Anybody? No. How to see all the network cards? No. There's another command. DLADM. Okay. So you have to type a command DLADM. Most of the time you have to do, and you will say what after this? Show. No. Show. No. Show link. Yeah. Show link. Right? DLLM show link. Then it will show all the network cards. Sometimes the network card may not be visible. It is there, but it's not visible. If config will not show all of them if they are not visible, right? You typed if config, you saw only one network card. But when you type DLLM show link, you see a lot, right? Maybe 5, 6 you have, right? Then I found a network card called, can you give me a network card name? Whatever you know. You saw it in that computer, Q, FE, 1, 2, 3, apart from 0, right? We assume I saw only QFE 0. I didn't see QFE 1, 2, 3. So what I should do? Oh, I don't see anything. What I should do? You know the command. If config as super, if config QFE1, then you have to say plumb. Plumb. When you say plumb, it will be visible for you, but no IP address, and at the same time it is not up also. It is down, right, by default, right? So you plumb it first, then you give an IP address. If config QFEC 0, 192.168.0, say 51 up. You say that.
If you can't see network card, how do you know the name?
This one, DL Adam Sholing.
If you can't see that.
If you say DL Adam Sholing, it will show QFE 0, QFE 1, QFE 2, all the network cards you have.
If you can't see that. Like you said, if you can't see that, so we have to go to the part.
No. If you can't see, using if config. If I use if config, minus A, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. It doesn't mean that you don't have any network card. You hit that net, you hit those network cards.
Yeah, if it is a new network, how can I know that?
Okay, that's another way to show also. If you type DMESG, right? You may have to sometimes grep also. Sometimes, because if I am grepping, I don't know the name, so I can't grep, sometimes difficult. You may try network also. Even if you try network, sometimes capital N may be there, we may be using capital N. So go through DMSG and more. So you go through from top to bottom, you will see a network interface. System found a network interface, but it's not plugged. Right? If you can't find that, then you have to install drivers. You may have to download patch and install that patch. Okay. First come first, download the patch. Right. So then give an IP address. You know how to give an IP address. Then you have to say up also. If you don't say up, it's like disable. In Windows, disable, enable. Up means enabled, down means disabled. Right?
So with if config, you only see the one which are plugged.
Which are plugged.
And with the DDL18, we see
everything. All the devices. Network, in this example, network configured devices. So I know how to do this now. Then I gave the IP address. Then it's working fine. Right? It's working fine. So we will talk about how to configure and how to troubleshoot network problems. If suppose I cannot connect to that server, how to troubleshoot? When you are troubleshooting, you have to troubleshoot from the simple step. Right? You should not jump to go under the table and try to pull the cable on. That is last. Right? So we will talk about all those things. Okay? Then after network, then it's fine. It's running in the network, and there are hundreds of servers and computers in the network. So I have a lot of computers in my network. When you have more computers, you have more problems also. What are the problems you will come across in a network? Tell me. And what are the things you like to do in a network? Not only problems, you have problems. Apart from that, I need some facility in the network. I want to make my administration simple. So how can I make my administration simple in a network? So tell both of them. Think in your way. For example, you are using different sites. You are giving passwords for all these sites, and sometimes you forget the passwords. So you may like to centralize all the passwords into a document and save the passwords, all your passwords in the document, and protect only that document. Something like that. Think in that way. I have multiple computers here. I'm logging into all these computers. I may be having different passwords. Right? I may have different etc host file. I may have different DNS configuration, different role configuration. Right? So to make my administration easy, right, I will centralize all these configurations into one place. So this is one thing I like to do. Centralizing, right, configuration file. This I want to do.
Is that like something like creating a jump server? Manage all the servers in the network?
The server is creating a boot server or installation server is a different concept. Purpose of that is.
So I mean, it's a jump server where all users can log in and administration can be done in.
You don't call it jump server, you call it name server.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have to have name server where all these configuration files are maintained, right? Otherwise, what will happen? This guy, if suppose I have a user called Tom, Tom has to log in here, right? So what is the requirement for Tom to log in here?
Password.
He has to have a name and password. So he has to log in here. What is the requirement? Name and password. So in all the computers he has to have name and password. So what I do is I select one computer here and I put all the user information here in one computer. So that is what I like to do. If I don't do that, people will keep on changing in all these computers. I don't have control. And also, if I want to back up the configuration files, I have to go to all the computers and back up. Also, if a person leaves, it's easier for me to delete him or her. Or if a person's permission has to be changed, easy for me to do that. Okay? So for that, we will talk about two things here. We will talk about NIS and we will introduce NIS Plus. NIS is not much used in big companies now. It is little down, right? Not much used, but they have different utilities that work with NIS. So combining with those different utilities, NIS will be still good for companies, right? And also, okay, if suppose every computer has an IP address here, if suppose this is 61, 62, 63, that means 192.168.0, 61, 62, 63, 64, like that I have different IP addresses. If this guy wants to talk to this guy, how will you, if I suppose I want to ping this guy, how will I ping this guy? I will say ping 192.168.0.64, right? If suppose I have data here, if I want to take the data, I have to know this guy's IP address, 85. I have to know that guy's IP address. Which is easier to remember, IP address or name? Name is easy. Like I am accessing you by your social insurance number. How can I do that? I can remember maybe at some time, but how many people? I can't remember all of them. So name is easy. So there should be some guy here which will do name resolution. So this is the first one. This is the second one. I need a resolution. So I will call that guy by name, but the network doesn't know names. But this guy will change the name to IP address. So name resolution, right? And I want that name resolution to be extended to the internet also. So I want this name resolution extended to internet. How can I do that? So those things we will learn from a client side how to connect to internet.